There is more information and potential for connectivity in this age than ever before. And yet, if you're watching this video, I think you'll agree, many of us feel lost and alone. Why is that? What can we learn from this? And more fundamentally, is there anything at all that can change this outcome? This channel will be illustrating language through animation, hopefully providing us a new prism for understanding how our modern experiences are linked between cultures, languages, and phenomena. Providing context, my own conversion to Judaism and learning of Hebrew has permanently transformed the way I see the world, and so I want to start there, sharing what I know about how I see. Hebrew is a very special language, whose roots apply to something beyond the mere domain of social interaction. This is a language of being, a language of perception, a language of discovery. Today I'm assuming you are a total beginner, yet we're going to begin not with the first 4 letters of the Hebrew alphabet, but with the following 4: Mem, Daled, Bet Vet, and Resh. Together these letters form the word Midbar, which means wilderness or desert. The book of Numbers within the 5 books of Moses, as it's called in English, is called Midbar, literally in the wilderness, as it documents the Israelites' journey from Mount Sinai to Israel. It's the perfect place to start because this is where many of us are. We are in the wilderness, a place where structure is increasingly hard to find. We, the United States I mean, although I'm sure it's true in other places, lack a cohesive set of values that bind our people together. We are wandering in our addictions, in our hapless pursuits, in our repressed anger fed to us through the mirror of what powerful interests dictate our evaluation should be, repressing our yearnings for something that drifts beyond the wildest visions of our imaginations. Of course, it's always from within a moment like this where the word emerges from the backdrop of its absconded shadow, Dvar. It means word, also matter, language and physicality linked in the ever-present dance that echoes through the iterations of time. Bereshit bara Elokim, in the beginning, God created. Okay, we might be getting ahead of ourselves here. Let's back up. Notice how Dvar comes out of Midbar. Notice how logos necessitates the backdrop of a hazy postmodern nihilism. That's where we are. This is why you're here. But let's go letter by letter and discuss some of the unique intricacies of this beautiful language, starting with Mem. What I've shown you so far is modern Hebrew script. It's how Hebrew appears today. However, this is not how Hebrew has always appeared. This is a really important part of understanding these ancient languages. You have modern letters deriving from ancient conceptions of a symbol paired with a sound. Consider this Proto-Sinaitic form of Mem. It looks like this, like the ripples of water, you might say. What a coincidence that this phoneme carries so many linguistic connections with water. Phoneme, of course, deriving from the Phoenicians. This was their letter Mem, connoting water, or maybe it's something even more than just that. Maybe water contains some of those properties that form the basis for something both fluidic and life-bearing. El mar, mir, morye, maritime, mary. Not even the Uralic languages can stop us. I guess Chinese can. We'll leave the East for today. There's something here, though. Could it be a Western phonetic resonance of perception? How about this? Mutter, matter, maternal. Here we are grasping at a kind of fluidic substance, one from which life emerges, or on which life is dependent. Vaten, vater, Germanic languages. Poseidon, Neptune. Did the Greeks and the Romans flip the feminine and turn it masculine, or was it more subtle? The substance water became masculine, penetrating the vessel, the sea. M's, W's, and V's, flipped, they all look like ripples to me. To understand language more deeply, we need to search in a different manner. And now we see the Mem, not just as a phoneme, but as a representational indicator of the expansive fluidic substrate. From this, the word, matter itself, the forms that carry our collective memory, are forged, extracted from the bleak chaos where meaning is imperceptible. And hence Mem is a prefix in Hebrew that means from. I mean, how practically pristine, how profoundly poetic, that the very letter to differentiate the wilderness from the word, the very phoneme that carries unassailable connections to the fluidic vessels of maternity, materiality, and la marina, from which life depends and derives, very simply means from. But you may ponder, what happens if instead of splitting the word like this, we split it like this, Mem Daled. Together, it means measure. Interestingly, it also means garment, remember that for later. But Daled, What is this letter? Good question. Think door, delet in Hebrew, or passage, the way, derech. Let's go deeper. Here's the Cyrillic letter, de. Notice it has an opening, Dvar otkrovaitsia. The door opens, Dvar. Does the Hebrew word go through a Russian door? What does that even mean? Anyway, the phonetic resonance remains. From the door, fluidic substance of life through the door. Measure, garment of what? Bet resh. It is a foundational basin. A basin of what? Remember Bereshit bara Elokim, the first clause from Genesis 1? Bet resh, the basin of creation. Reshit, firstly, beginning. Bereshit, prefix bet, meaning in. Beit, house, in the beginning. The house of the beginning. Bara, it clarifies. The action of creative potential bursts from its source. Mazel tov, where new beginnings embark new adventures. And so, my friends, you can think of Midbar as the product of our measuring the creative essence, the product of science to its most reductionist endpoint. The wilderness is what happens when we try to measure everything, including ourselves. All that's left of the beauty, the majesty, the wonders is a garment, a cloak obscuring our witness from which dwells deeper. And so this time, join me. Strip away the excesses between the outer world and your soul. Find the word. The source of your being awaits.